Welcome to What If, the channel where the wildest possibilities come to life. What if one day you woke up to elephants on Main Street, wolves grilling in your backyard, and flamingos turning skyscrapers pink? What if every animal on Earth decided cities were their new playground? Buckle up as we dive into the chaos, the wonder, and the jaw-dropping absurdity of a world flipped upside down. Hit subscribe, because you won't believe what's next. Picture this. One crisp morning, the world blinks awake to an astonishing scene. A parade of elephants ambles down Main Street, trunks swaying as if they've got appointments to keep. Squirrels swarm coffee shops, squeaking over tiny cups of espresso, while a gang of wolves pitches tents in a suburban yard, sniffing at the grill. Above, squadrons of flamingos paint the sky pink, perching on rooftops rather than wetlands. This isn't a fever dream or a Hollywood script. It's the day every creature on Earth decides cities are the place to be. What if animals swapped wilderness for urban sprawl? Hold tight, because we're diving into the madness, magic, and sheer lunacy of that possibility. At first, it feels like a wildlife enthusiast's fantasy. Imagine city parks bursting with life. Deer grazing on trimmed grass, foxes weaving through side streets, penguins toddling over zebra crossings. Urban centers would morph into open-air zoos, no tickets required. Kids would ditch devices to gawk at a moose nibbling a hot dog cart's wares. Tourists would swarm, snapping photos, pumping cash into local coffers quicker than you can say, wildlife Instagram. Businesses would pounce. Picture Grizzly Brews with actual bears sprawled across patios. Or pet shops reborn as beast outfitters, trading leashes for bales of straw and sardines. The eco-perks keep rolling. With animals staking claims in cities, humanity might loosen its grip on asphalt. Vacant lots could sprout thickets for bison herds, and high-rises might sprout boggy roofs for ducks on the move. Traffic could thin. Nobody's flooring it with a hippo lumbering across lanes, nudging air quality upward. Cities might stumble into green havens, fusing steel and feathers in ways tree huggers only fantasize about. Think of the news. Zebras redesign downtown. Plazas now savannah chic. But don't get too dreamy. The flood of fur and claws would soon bare its teeth. Traffic wouldn't just slow, it'd seize up. Imagine gridlock with elk charging through intersections or a tortoise dawdling over a footbridge for hours. Transit, done. Subways would turn into bat roosts, real ones, while buses stall as emus peck at the hubcaps. Workers might stagger in late, muttering about arm wrestling a python off their scooter. Food would turn feral fast. Animals don't swipe credit cards. Lawns would vanish under gnashing teeth, and rooftop planters would become smorgasbords for possums and hares. Eateries might lose out. Why shell out for calamari when pelicans drop fish on your lap? Grocery stores could be ransacked by chimps swinging from rafters. Trash night, chaos. Koalas would rummage for eucalyptus, scolding us for single-use plastics. Housing would get downright bizarre. Tenants might find otters tunneling under their rugs, asserting tenancy. Penthouse decks could host falcon nests, raining bones onto sidewalks. Landlords might hike rates, smirking, "The cobra in the vents adds value." Subdivisions would become war zones, with residents shooing moose from splash pads only to lose the standoff. Safety would skid into chaos. Vets might cheer, but hospitals would buckle under patients with beak bites or wallaby wallops. Sanitation teams would battle droppings, rhino heaps clogging paths, deer scat blanketing slides. Germs could leap species like wildfire, city mice trading bugs with forest monkeys in a petri dish party. Health ads might scream, "Scrub up and dodge that parrot, it's coughing." Money would whip back and forth. Tourism and critter swag, I outran the city cheetah teas and stuffed jackals, could mint fortunes. But farming would tank as cows bolt for urban pastures, leaving silos bare and steak prices lunar. Building would freeze. Try laying bricks with leopards napping on the rebar. Insurers would hawk oddball plans. Wombat wall collapse rider, or tsunami and toad removal bundle. Culture would ride the wave. Art would bloom. Murals of gazelles outpacing buses. Concertos echoing owl hoots off glass towers. Fashion might go primal, swapping synthetics for cloaks of molted hawk plumes. Yet customs could fray. Picture a Easter bunny hopping off with the eggs, or a 4th of July float stalled by bison who'd rather pose than prance. Faiths might shift. Shrines blessing stray llamas. Clerics preaching peace with pigeons in the pews. Nature itself would warp. With beasts ditching woods and steppes, rural ecosystems might crater. Urban cougars would leave hinterland rabbits to overrun, shredding greenery. City bees could buzz in window pots, but farmland might starve without them. Earth's scales would wobble, metropolises choked with life, wilds left hollow. Climate could choke too. Urban alpacas belching gas might outfume any smokestack. Daily life would hit peak weird. Think of a sales pitch drowned by geese honking over the projector, or a meditation session crashed by a camel sniffing the incense. Romance would stumble, a candlelit meal raided by a magpie nabbing fries, or a smooch soured by a porcupine photobomb. Sports would morph. Soccer pitches grazed bald by goats, tennis courts rerouted past bear dens. Sleep? Dicey, with coyotes yipping and boars snuffling at the shutters. So, utopia or meltdown? It's a prism of what-ifs. Cities could pulse with vivid, messy vitality, nudging humans to share the spotlight. The thrill of dawn giraffes or dusk armadillos might ignite a planetary crush on nature. Cash could flow anew, stories could shift, and balance might emerge from the fray. But the downside looms. Filth floods, wallets wince, and ecosystems tilt. A fox barista's cute until a panther's pacing your porch at midnight. Ultimately, it's a gamble no algorithm can solve. The invasion would test our grit and giggles, a crash course in living together. Maybe the sweet spot's a hybrid, cities spiced with scales and tails, not swamped. One truth stands. If animals gatecrash our grid, dull days are extinct. So, would you swap your car horn for a yak's grunt?